right, so welcome to the broadcast. We're going to start it out with the opening proceedings from the game, and then we will go into everything else. So I'll be out there doing the camera work. So enjoy this. Here you go. First pitch is 6:15. 6:15, first pitch.
Now, please welcome the runner-up from North Dakota, Williston Post 37, with a win-loss record of 24-25. Ladies and gentlemen, Williston Post 37. And now, the state champion from North Dakota, Hardhats Post 2, with a win-loss record of 43-6. Please welcome Hardhats Post 2. Next up is the runner-up from Minnesota, Ian Prairie. Ian Prairie has a win-loss record of 29-10. Please welcome Ian Prairie. Next is the state champion from Minnesota, St. Michael Mike's, post 567 with a win-loss record of 25-4-1. Ladies and gentlemen, St. Michael post 567. And now, we welcome the South Dakota State Champion, Harrisburg Post 45. Harrisburg has a win-loss record of 25-13. And now, fans, as we get ready for Game 4, please welcome the Nebraska State runner-up, Elkhorn South Storm. They have a record of 25-22. John Henderson, Jack Newton, Gabe Mosser, Brock Songster, Keith Walters, J.C. Roy, Alex Thomas, and Carter David, and the bat boy for tonight's game for Elkhorn, Mr. Jackson Reeder. And the starters for Game 4 for Elkhorn at shortstop, number 1, Kobe Eichmeyer. Number 12, Carson Rauner. The pitcher for number 8, Michael Beckna. The third baseman, number 20, Austin Geary. The left fielder, number 3, Jack Ulrich. At third base, number 10, Carter O'Neill. The center fielder for Elkhorn is number 7, Luke Hoskinson. The catcher, number 4, Drew McDonald. The right fielder, number 2, Connor Preble. And the starting pitcher for Elkhorn in tonight's game is number 8, Michael Beckna. And then Mr. Van Gaal, assisted by Ryan Ahart, bringing home management Jacoby. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get the reserves for your post 22 Hardhats. Number 12, Drew Van Number 17, Eli Kelly. Number 19, Holland Jacobs. Number 21, Tyler McKnight. Number 24, Daniel Vickery. Number 28, Zeke Farley. Number 29, Kate Grossi. And number 30 is David Moreno. The battle tonight for the Hardhats, Mr. Sawyer Rich. And now the starters for your post 22 Hardhats. At second base, wearing number 10, Aiden Roberts. The designated hitter, number 18, Wyatt Reeder. In right field, number 14, Harrison Good. The first baseman, number 27, Alex Dietrich. And at third base, for your Hardhats, we're number 20, Hayden Hollis. In center field, number 22, Red Hanover. shortstop number 15, Wilson Beaver. And on the last protector for Hardhats, number 25, Hayden Lighty. And Ryan Clapper. Fans would also like to give a big round of applause for all the bat boys, including Sam Schroeder, Sawyer Rich, Hunter Larson, and Jackson Reeder, Stuart Betts, Tyler Dietrich, Adam Jansen, and Cole Jansen. And now, fans, how about a big round of applause for those who put on the front, especially for the American Legion, who are the Paul Anderson. The assistant program director, Jim Moran. Mr. Adam O'Kelly. And fans, one of the unsung jobs in baseball is being an umpire with a great crew. Please welcome umpire-in-chief of North Dakota, Andrew Fisher. Mr. John Whitcraft. From Nebraska, Mr. Corey Aldrich. From Minnesota, Mr. Eric Mueller. From Nebraska, Mr. Tim Higgins. And from Idaho, Mr. Greg Mills. Thank you guys. We appreciate all that you do. And now, fans, we will have the reading of the American Legion Player Sportsmanship Code. Tonight will be read by Mr. Jim Moran, the American Legion Assistant Claims Director.
John, first thing I want to do is congratulate all 8 teams for doing this time of the season. And I hope you understand that this is your time. There are 64 teams that are vying to go to Shelby. You are 8 of them. Live the dream, enjoy the game, every pitch, every out, and we'll find out who comes out on top later this week. I ask you at this time, please repeat after me the American Legion Baseball Coach Sportsmanship. I will keep the rules, keep faith with my teammates, keep my temper, keep myself fit, keep a scout heart in defeat, keep my pride under in victory, keep a sound soul, a clean mind, and a healthy body.
Mr. Moran, thank you. One great item that separates American Legion Baseball from all other organizations is that code of sportsmanship. And now at this time, this year, for the Spirit of the Hills Award, we are honoring legendary post-22 hardhat coach Dave Blue. As you know, baseball is a game of numbers. Coach Blue led by the numbers, and his numbers. He wore jersey number 34. He coached for 47 years. He had 34 state titles. His career record was a win-loss of 2,483 wins and only 806 losses. He had 8 World Series appearances, and in 1993, the team went 78-5 and were crowned World Series champions. Coach Blue embodied the American Legion Code. He was the type of coach who was more concerned with developing competitive ball players who played the game right. He developed great citizens, great husbands, and great fathers. At this time, please welcome Mrs. Patty Blue. She is here to present the Spirit of the Hills quilt. Each team nominated one player for this honor. Those nominated, and then we'll announce the winner. The nominations are Palmer Jacobs from Post 22 Hardhats, Joey Lamb from Eden Prairie, Josh Beaver from Fargo Post 2, Derek Lee from Wilson, Congratulations, Scott. And thank you all players for honoring the code of sportsmanship. And now at this time, we would like to welcome to the field the American Legion Post 22 color guard. Please remember to stay standing until the color guard is on the field after the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Legion Post 22 color guard. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we honor our great country, we are blessed to be joined by former Hardhat Hayden Bentz to play the trumpet. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
All right. Who's ready for some baseball? I hope you all stood till the end of the color guard. That was the requirement. Glad you all did. All right. So we've got our lineups here today. The final game of the day. We've got the Post 22 Hardhats, the host team here, is playing the final game of the day against this Pennington Dental Group, aka PDG Storm Gold team here from Elkhorn South High School in Elkhorn, Nebraska. So there you go. That's what it looks like. The winner of the game will play against Fargo Post 2. Loser will play Eden Prairie. Eden Prairie, definitely a tough draw. Eden Prairie going to be a tough draw for whoever loses this. Going to be a hard one to avoid getting knocked out on. Eden Prairie was runner-up in Minnesota, 2011 Legion National Champions. They did lose earlier today to Fargo, though Fargo had a great pitching performance from their starter Zach Lamont. So we've got the Hardhats. They're going to get their chance here. They have a second lease on life. After getting eliminated in the state tournament, by virtue of hosting this tournament, they get to be in it. And so in the end, even though we went 1-3 against Brookings and they gave us a loss in the tournament, we did get the last laugh, as we got the bid and they did not. So now we'll see how this goes. PDG, they come into this. They're on a little bit of a hot streak themselves. They only come into this game at 25-22, which is about 500. You might think, well, they were the 4 seed in the pool play for their little sub-state. So they are on quite a run here, but don't underestimate it. So you might think, okay, 4th seed in their pool play where only 2 teams get out. They weren't even expected to make it out. Then, that's just how that is. It's not going to be too good. Their pitcher today that they're throwing, Michael Mechna, going to the University of Oregon. He will be a Duck in the fall. So this is not your normal team. Hayden Lighty on the mound for the Hardhats, though. He might be even better. He is absolutely tearing things up lately. This could very well be the last start of his career. As a senior, that's blooped into left. And so a leadoff single from the PDG Storm shortstop, Kobe Eichmeyer. Eichmeyer gets a single to start things out. I was going to say that Hayden Lighty over his last several starts been tremendous. Pitching at least 5 innings in each of them and shutting out teams in 2 of them. So up comes Carson Rauner, the second baseman. 1-0 count to him. Or no, never mind. Stepping off the mound, they do a little bit of bunt defense. Hayden Hollick jumping in. I'll give you those starting lineups in a minute. We got derailed slightly by the opening ceremonies. And throwing a second, not in time. So Eichmeyer steals a bag while we weren't even looking. And, oh, hello. We got a change. Hello. Whoa. Hi. Haven't seen those characters before. All right. I can't. I'm going to go. I'm fairly certain that's Mandarin, but all right. So a stolen base successful by Eichmeyer. 1-0 count. That's fouled off by the second baseman, Rauner. All right. So Lighty delivers. Curveball misses the zone. Not able to get Rauner to bite. On deck is that aforementioned Oregon Duck commit, Michael Mechna. This team, plenty of D1 commits, but most of them didn't play summer ball. popped out of play. There are 2 men on this team. There are 3 D1 commits, 2 Power 5 commits on the active roster right now. We have Mechna who is pitching and playing a bit of the field. He'll be going to Oregon. Then there is Alex Thomas, who is not playing tonight, but is on the roster for this for the Central Plains Regional. He is going to Northwestern. And then finally a right-handed pitcher, Carter Navin, going to Omaha, UNO, the Mavericks. So those are your D1 guys on this team. Hardhats do not have any at the moment. Plenty of, though I'm sure that some people being looked at for the future as that all goes. So that's going to be lined and into left. So you'll hold up. Eichmeyer stays there. And so another hit, 2 straight hits for PDG Storm to start things out. Hardhats do have a slight advantage here. You might think, oh, how? They didn't even, get too far in their own tournament. First of all, kind of rude. Second of all, this team has 5 days rest when everybody else has 2 or 3. Not that hard. I could do it for you.
Can't see.
Wow. All right. We're making a quick trade here.
Good evening, everybody.
I hope you're loud. You're too close to your face. No, you're good now, but I had to turn you down.
All right. Good evening, everybody.
All right. So we are looking at 2-0. Hayden Leidy down in the count against Mechna. Hardhats on the verge of allowing some runs. Every team that has allowed runs in the first inning has lost today. Fargo put up 3 in the first inning. One held on to that 3-run lead all the way into the 6th when they finally scored again, 1-6-2. And then the St. Michael team put up 2 in the first inning. Didn't even need that many as they won 4-0 over Harrisburg Gold on the back of an incredible outing by the starting pitcher for St. Michael, Ashton Ruver, I believe.
Mike Fell with you here, along with Oliver, and Oliver Fell. Oliver, I have to say, when you get to this level, this time of
3-1, taking off. That's going to be slapped into left, and so a single again. Another hit. That's 3, and the Hardhats still searching for their first out. And at that same time, PDG Storm get on the board.
That first couple of runs, if you can get a lead at this level, it just magnifies everything, because a 7-inning game between 2 elite teams, so many times it's going to come down to which pitcher can get into a groove. And over the course of 7 innings, most pitchers at this level that are elite can easily go 5, 6, 7 innings, and then it becomes very hard to make up that deficit over the course of a game between 2 top-notch teams. It just gets extremely challenging.
Yeah, well, it's going to be hard to hide out here. Every team in attendance, they're all going to get to see you for future games out here because, because of the opening ceremony situation going on. But coming up now, the cleanup man, that's Austin Geary, who's committed to Briarcliff University. Leidy gives him one, a bunt put down, foul. So strike 1.
There are probably a number of scouts and coaches here at this tournament. This is such a great opportunity to take in some of the great players of tomorrow to be at this tournament the next 5 days.
Absolutely. I'm sure some of them probably watching streams at some level.
I'm sure they are.
So 0-1. Had a whole bunch of good games so far today. Nothing has come down to the wire. Nothing has been in save situation. That's a good bunt. It's curving, and sits on the white. A perfect bunt from the first baseman, Gary. And so the bases are loaded. Hardhats still don't have an out.
This team from Nebraska means business. They have played in the first round of this game, loaded the bases, and they have done this on the road at Fitzgerald Stadium against a Hardhats ace and Hayden Lighty. And oh, by the way, not a single out has yet to be recorded.
All right, so now up we have Jack Ulrich taken off the plate. So we're looking at a 1-0. Ulrich, in a no-lose situation here, you can give up an out and score a run. You can give up an out and it's fine. You're doing so well anyways. I mean, he's just got to go out there and just swing. And he does. He fouls one off. So we're looking at a 1-1 count now. Hayden Lighty, I don't know. At some point in here, it's going to hit him that this is likely going to be his final game, no matter how good, because he's going to go deep and he's not going to be able to play anymore.
It very well will hit him at some point. Right now, Hayden's just trying to throw strikes.
Yeah. So a 1-1 now to Ulrich. Lighty, a stretch. That's strike two. A breaking ball finds the middle of the zone. I love the bird T-shirts for this, for the Williston team. I love these guys. 1-2. Lighty, swing and a foul tip. He caught it. Philip Bentz on the tip there, just about gets it. He has to readjust it in his glove, but that'll be strike. That'll be the first strikeout of the game, first out period. And so Hayden Lighty does get one with the help of Philip Bentz's glove.
We have a great crowd on hand here tonight in Rapid City. And they had finally had something to cheer about since that stirring opening ceremony.
Mm-hmm. Well, Hardhats haven't even gotten to hit yet. If they can keep it to 2-ish runs here, you'll have to see. That gets through the legs of Bentz. And the wild pitch will bring home one. Everybody advances. And the Storm now lead 2-0.
Unforced errors, really hard to digest when you're post 22 in a game against this Elkhorn team that really comes in on a roll.
Mm-hmm. So Carter O'Neill looking at a 1-out. Lighty gives him a strike. It's launched into right. It's going back. Good. Not going to be able to make the grab. It gets to the wall. So one run will score. Another will score. They're headed to second. The relay not going to be in time. And that'll score 2 more runs. Elkhorn South now leads 4-0. They are jumping all over this Hardhats team to start things out.
Wow. And for the Hardhats, now they have their work cut out for them, trailing in this game by a count of 4-0.
All right, so at least the bases aren't loaded anymore.
But there's still a man in scoring position, and there's only one out. This is far from an easy exit for post 22.
So Luke Hoskinson now comes to the plate. He'll try to become the sixth batter for PDG Storm South to or PDG Storm Gold to get a hit. Here, that's a strike. Lefty Hoskinson. Hayden Lighty, definitely the guy I would have also agreed should have gone on the mound here for the opening game. He's been dynamite lately. A swing and a miss on the heater. Pulls it right by him, overpowers the batter. And now at an 0-2 count. Not taking any chance. He's running right back into the box. He is straight for it. So, Lighty checks on the runner. He delivers the 0-2. A little bit outside, sat on. And now we look at a 1-2. Hoskinson. Waiting. Lighty. Delivers. Grounded softly over to first. Handled by Dietrich. Underhand to Lighty. That'll be out number 2. The runner advances. But one more out is recorded. You still see the fans go out. They're all clapping.
The fans know the game's just underway. Who says the Hardhats can't put up 4 runs in their home half of the first? I mean, it's just the beginning, and a lot going on early. But we have an entire game to be played, and Hardhats even haven't been able to make their first plate appearance. It's that early.
All right, Crew McDonald now up. Yep, first name Crew, as in like a lot of people. Crew McDonald, the catcher. Gonna try to bring in some more here for gold. They, like several other teams in this. Ooh, all right. Beautiful curveball finds the middle of the zone there. 0-2. This team, like the St. Michael Mikes and the Harrisburg Gold, a split up of 2 different teams, where the seniors all seem to go to one team. Swing and a miss, it one in the dirt. So now Bentz, to end the inning, he gets it to first. So the inning is over. PDG Storm hangs 4 on the scoreboard, gets out to a commanding early lead against these Hardhats.
All right, now the Hardhats get to strike back. It's so imperative for the post-22 Hardhats that they respond quickly and make it very clear that they're going to be a part of this game tonight. And for post-22, there's not, one thing that happens when post-22 takes the field, there's that expectation that you got to win. And that the Hardhats, with their outstanding tradition, their great coaching, and the program that they have built, they expect to win when they come on to Fitzgerald Stadium. The difference between tonight and most nights is the Hardhats are not considered the favorite.
Nope.
And as a result, they get to play with a reckless abandon and a certain sense of got nothing to lose. And that makes the team very dangerous. And for the Hardhats, they will be loose. They will absolutely do whatever they can to not only put pressure on the team from Elkhorn South, from the suburban western edge of Omaha, but the Hardhats, they have an opportunity here to make some noise and really shake things up, and they are ready to go, and the fans are right there with them. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight.
Okay, well, on the mound, in between the way of the Hardhats and the winner's bracket, is going to be the big right-hander, Michael Mechna. Mechna, a Oregon Duck commit. He will be the second Pac-12 pitcher the Hardhats have faced this year after Coulter McAnally for Cheyenne Post 6.
Yeah, Coulter McAnally is going to play for the Utah Utes. And of course, everybody right now following with bated breath decisions being made by presidents and chancellors and athletic directors regarding the future of the Pac-12. We know that all of these schools, including your college, your university, Oliver, Arizona State University, a lot of decisions to be made, more and more information coming out all the time. Will Oregon go to the Big Ten? Will Utah go to the Big 12? Will Arizona State go to the Big 12?
No.
All we know is that Oregon State has made it clear that they will not accept any.
They are not going anywhere. Yeah. Well, with any hope, nothing else changes and they pick up Tulane or something. But the Hardhats going to start things off. According to the scouting report on Prep Baseball Report, as of May last year, Mechna was throwing 90. So he should be throwing 91, 92 by now if all of that holds stable.
Now, when you don't even see the ball, they're probably throwing 90 plus, and I didn't even see the ball to the naked eye anyway from the mound to the plate. Oh, this time
that's a strike. So we're looking at a 2-1. Mechna.
You might have taken something off that pitch.
Mm-hmm. Aiden Roberts, sophomore second baseman, trying to get something to work here. He takes one off the plate. I saw a really good comment on Twitter recently. Well, it's X now. But it was talking about old players in the modern day, and they were talking about Jackie Robinson. If Jackie Robinson saw 105 miles an hour from Jordan Hicks, he would soil himself and then take 3 more balls and get a walk.
I think Jackie Robinson will hit the ball over the
That's
fence.
right. You think he'd hit 105
Yes.
on his first try?
I think Jackie would adjust. Jackie would get it done. I'm with
I think
number
he'd take a
40.
walk.
I'm with number 42. And yeah, Jordan Hicks, by the way, he's probably throwing a ball. Because that's what Jordan Hicks does. He throws 100 plus and misses the strike zone consistently. Thus, he's no longer a St. Louis Cardinal.
He's moved up in the world. He's a Blue Jay now.
Igor's excited.
That's a strike. So 0-1 now. Strikeout on Aiden Roberts, the first out of the inning. Wyatt Reeder up here, the freshman. He smacks one. That'll maybe drop into right. It will not. Floats a little too long, and that'll be out number 2. So 2 quick outs for Mechna, and Harry Good's coming up. Harry Good, a lock for the Legion first team All-State this year. He has put up an incredible year, highlighted by 20-plus steals, 6 home runs, 50 runs, 50 RBIs, 378 batting average. He has been possibly the best hitter in the state this year.
He's been outstanding. When I look back at this summer, Harrison Good's name will forever be etched in my memory bank. I promise you that.
All right, so 1-0. Outside, so 2-0 now. The 2-0. Mechna delivers. Popped up, and shortstop wants it. He calls for it, makes... Oh, no, he doesn't! He bobbles it, and it falls to the ground. That'll be an error on the shortstop, Kobe Eichmeyer. And you don't see that one every day. In and out of one hand, then he tries to grab it again, then he knocks it out of his hand the other way, and it falls.
Here's the thing. That ball was hit so high that I think it bounced out of the glove.
That's possible.
And I have been on the receiving end of a major league foul ball from Greg Vaughn of the Cincinnati Reds at Old Busch Stadium in St. Louis, and my hand had never felt that much pain in any one moment. I tried to...
You haven't closed your hand in the car door yet?
No, this was
that
even
one hurts
worse.
a lot.
This was even worse.
Really?
Oh yeah, and
did you like break some? Oh, the pickoff attempt. It gets away. Good, headed for second. He's gonna round. He's headed for third. Harry Good, all the way to third. He'll be told to hang up there, and so all of a sudden, Hardhats got a man in scoring position. Thanks to an error and another error. 2 errors in a row. That's the kind of thing that the Hardhats have been capitalizing on all year.
I want to get back to that error by Eichmeyer. That foul ball was so high, it took an extra 2 seconds worth of hang time to come down. You can't tell me that they didn't make it hard to catch, especially when you handle foul balls all year and they only go a certain distance into the sky. Harrison Good practically had a home run distance to his foul ball. It just went straight up and straight down.
I don't know if I'd call it a 400-foot foul ball.
I'll call it a 345-foot foul ball.
I think it went slightly higher than our light poles, and I don't think those are 300 feet.
I think it was much higher than the light poles.
All right, so met into the mesosphere. So it's a 1-2 now to Alex Dietrich. Dietrich takes one off the plate. Good discipline there. And now we go to a 2-2. Dietrich, good hitter, though he is somewhat strikeout prone. So 2-2 count. Mechna likes the call. Nope. Yeah, no, he wants that one. So it's a 2-2. A little bit high. And Dietrich doesn't budge an inch. We go to a full count.
Harrison Good when he leads off from third, takes a lead off third, and kind of skips towards home plate. He's getting in the head of Mechna.
So a full count now. The payoff pitch. Mechna delivers outside, ball 4. And now 2 men are on. Coming to the plate, the RBI king for the Hardhats with over 70 on the season, Hayden Hollick.
Right now, Mechna probably just absolutely irate that his buddy over his right shoulder, shortstop Eichmeyer, did not secure that heavenly sent Harrison Good pop fly in the infield.
All right, so Hayden Hollick, runners on the corners. Don't really have to worry about Alex Dietrich taking off, but they might anyways. That's a bouncer! And Good's coming in! The Hardhats are on the board. On a wild pitch, the Hardhats score 1, and they chip away a little bit more.
Well, now the aura of invincibility is off of this team, all because of Eichmeyer, the shortstop, who has opened the door that Elkhorn South never intended to have swing open. And the Hardhats, and this is what they do, they make you pay for your mistakes. Now Post 22 is playing Hardhats baseball on the biggest stage.
So now runner in scoring position. It's a 1-0 count to Hayden Hollick. Hollick, a really streaky guy. He'll have like games where he goes 3 for 4 with like 5 RBIs, and then he'll go 0 for 4 for like 3 games in a row. I can't tell which side he's on. He's been off for 5 days. We'll see in a moment. So it's a 1-1. It could help to be on the good side. So a 1-1 count. A little bit high, sat on. Good patience there. I know that, usually this isn't a factor. I think it helps to have an umpire that's a little shorter than the strike box. Because I think he's at eye level with the top of Hollick's zone. And I think that helps Hollick when he takes high.
That's a fascinating observation, however. The thing about strike zone is it's technically from the shoulders to the knees.
No, it's bottom of the armpit.
Well, that's considered shoulders. But it's interesting to see how umpires see a zone, and catchers go a long ways by framing pitches with the use of their glove, especially on the low pitches on the edge of the zone.
We should have seen some of the frame jobs done by, I believe his name, oh gosh, I can't remember his first name, but Glass, the catcher for St. Michael's, he had some pretty good frame jobs. Their pitcher was unbelievable today. So now, 2-2. Mechna delivers high. And Hollick, unimpressed by the pitch, he'll wait for another. Full count. Get a clapping train going on in the stands here. Trying to get in Mechna's head. Michael Mechna. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss! He gets out of it. The Hardhats do score 1 in the bottom of the first. They get a little bit, they do break that invincibility. The error does cost PDG Storm a shutout inning, but the Hardhats are still down by 3 going into the top of the second.
Well, the frustrating thing there is the Hardhats could have scored more than a run, and when you face an ace, the old adage in baseball is, if you're going to get them early. And the Hardhats, they did play to run, capitalizing on that Colby Eichmeyer error. But that being said, Mechna essentially gets the job done, as he only works around 1 unearned run and manages to keep his team in front by 3 runs going into the second.
So, for the Hardhats, in the first inning, they get no hits. They score 1 run, unearned. There are 2 errors, 1 on the pitcher Mechna, 1 on the shortstop Kobe Eichmeyer, and then 1 man left on base. Whitey going to come back out for his second inning of work. He will face the 9 for the first time, and then he'll go right back through the order at the top. Yeah, dying. Okay, so leading off is going to be Connor Preble. There's a lot of lefties in this lineup for Elkhorn. A bunt shown. Throw in the dirt, it'll be a ball. no MLB players currently out of Elkhorn South, though I'm not sure if Elkhorn South is just kind of a new thing.
I know a lot about Elkhorn because I grew up about 20 minutes away from Elkhorn.
That's grounded up the middle. It's going to be fielded by Kiefer. Throw to first is off the plate, but a great stretch from Alex Dietrich will get the out.
Oh man, back in the day there was a man known as Stretch Armstrong. Some of you of a certain vintage remember.
Everybody knows Stretch Armstrong.
everybody
I know
does.
Stretch Armstrong.
Oh, wow, I didn't
I
know
watched
that.
somebody put him in a microwave on YouTube once.
Oh, never mind. Well, that time I thought that Alex Dietrich was a Stretch Armstrong for the Hardhats.
All right, I got you. It's not as rare as you think. You know, I think they still make them.
Really?
Yes. I mean, you can find them at like Beyond the Blackboard, some of those really deep toy stores. But
Okay.
I gotcha. All right, so a 1-0 count. Now to the leadoff man, Eichmeyer. He's trying to redeem himself after the error allowed a run to cross. That being said, he was a run earlier this game too. Eichmeyer, interesting thing. He's a redhead with a German name in Nebraska.
Nothing unusual about that.
That's skied into left. Going after it is Roach. He's going to the wall. It'll bounce off of the wall. Roach barehanded grab. He'll throw to the cutoff man, and that'll be a double.
I give a lot of credit to St. Thomas More Cavalier, Aaron Roach in left field. He played that ball extremely well off of the Lynn Jackson attorney sign and the left field power alley, and he was able to keep that to a double and not a triple.
I did see one bounce off that pretty much the same place and bounce past the center fielder for a triple in the game between Fargo and oh gosh, who was the other team? Eden Prairie. So top of the second, 1 out. That's in the dirt. Bent's able to keep it in front of him.
The man leading off second for Elkhorn South, he looked as though he kind of forgot what he was doing for just a moment.
Yeah.
And he got away with a mental lapse, I do believe.
He's probably thinking about how great Rapid City is. 1 out. That's a bouncer. Once again, Bentz does a great block job, and he will keep the man second.
So Elkhorn, if you're wondering, folks, Elkhorn is really the newest suburb of Omaha. There was Millard for a long time that was the outer part of Omaha, and now that outer part of Omaha is really Elkhorn, where this Elkhorn South team hails from. Elkhorn's about 30 minutes away from downtown Omaha.
So it's the Harrisburg of Omaha.
Or T area.
Okay, all right. So 3-0
You know
count.
your Sioux Falls.
Yeah. 3-0. That's a strike. Wait, never mind.
The original high school for Elkhorn had the nickname of the Antlers. It was the Elkhorn Antlers.
That explains why Wayne put us down and Game Changer is playing the Antlers today. Because we did not. We are not playing the Antlers.
Well, good for Wayne though. He knows.
He got it
his
wrong.
Elkhorn.
Just kidding.
Well, he
Love you,
knows the history of Elkhorn sports, and it's all about the Antlers.
So, bases loaded. Bentz gives a tap on the back to Hayden Leidy. Everybody available if the Hardhats need them. Nobody is on a pitch limit or anything. Anything going on here? Hardhats learned their lesson about saving pitchers for when you don't have games anymore in the state tournament. Taking off is Eichmeyer. Bentz gets it. He throws to third. Not in time. Eichmeyer takes off. His buddy stays at first. He doesn't want to go. And so Rauner stays at first and stolen base successful. That is the second stolen base now for Kobe Eichmeyer.
Something tells me Kobe Eichmeyer really wants to atone for that error in the bottom half of the first inning by making up for the run his team gave up to Harrison Good and the Hardhats. He really wants to cross home plate here.
Mechna, swing and a miss, going for second this time, and an interception play. That's what we saw work against Pierre earlier this year. They were trying to get Eichmeyer to get antsy running for home, and Eichmeyer didn't budge, and a stolen base is successful by Rauner.
This is such a big spot. Hayden Lighty needs to lock this down now.
So 1-1 count. Lighty throws a strike right down the middle. Mechna stands at it. He probably goes, huh, I might use that at some point. He's taking notes. So it's a 1-2. Mechna, wide stance in the box. Taking up pretty much the whole thing. Did he go? Appeal? Whoa, okay, that's a safe call. All right. That one felt pretty, I think he went.
Yeah, there's some fans saying that was terrible. They're really getting on the umpire.
The umpire's not at first base is the thing. Because he's not. He's over at second. So he can't see it as well. It's just kind of how that works. I don't blame the ump. I just, it's just kind of how it is. So 2-2. Lighty throws one. Doesn't hit the zone. A little bit low. And we go to a 3-2-1 count for Hayden Lighty. Mechna got a single his last time up, driving in a run. A single might bring in 2 at this point. Payoff pitch. Inside, ball 4. And that check swing call comes back to bite the Hardhats.
Well, there is a silver lining, and that is that the double play is in order with 1 out. Now that there is a man at first, Hayden has nowhere to hide now. No bases are open as he locks in against Elkhorn South's next hitter.
So Austin Greery, the cleanup man, going to come up. Interesting thing, he's one of those guys that bats left, throws right. I wonder how that happens. Some people just, a lot of people that I talk to that do that specific thing, they can't imagine batting right. Because they can only do it left, and they would do it the same as any righty would bat left. Be kind of disoriented and bad, but you do the throwing with your right. How is it that hard,
I don't know.
I don't get it. So 1-0.
It's a mystery.
Strike, delivered, top right of the zone from the pitcher's perspective. And we're looking at a 1-1 count now. Here to Greery. Lighty checking on runners. Deep breath, throw is swing and a miss. A big swat there. Comes up empty from the first baseman Greery. Baby's crying. Lighty's got to get out of this in. Upsetting the kids. All right, 1-2. 1-2 for Lighty. He delivers. That's grounded. Over to second. Roberts to short. Kiefer, the first in time. Double play.
There it is. Oh, man. That was just what the doctor ordered for Hayden Lighty and post 22. And that is right there what we just saw. That's just the kind of pitcher Hayden Lighty is. You need a double play ball with the bases loaded and 1 out, he will deliver. And that was a great play by Aiden Roberts. He very rapidly got the ball out of his hands, got the ball over to the shortstop, and then this was just fortuitous for post 22, but the hitter was the cleanup man for Elkhorn South, who's probably the slowest player in the lineup.
Either him or the catcher.
Elkhorn South.
You'd say probably either him or the catcher, yeah. First baseman not usually known for their speed. It's hard to think of a first baseman in the majors who got even 20 steals in a year recently. Ryan Braun, maybe. But he only really played first late in his career when he wasn't speedy anymore.
Well, it is truly amazing. Oliver, I just have to get your reaction to this question. This is now your third tournament this year at Fitzgerald Stadium. I mean, I'm going to quote a great movie we watched together once, Field of Dreams. Is this heaven?
I'm having a great time out here. Everybody else is having a great time. That's true. Oh yeah, you're probably right, Trevor. I got you. I played tennis, but
You know what?
that's fair.
I,
Absolutely
I
fair.
don't know if you even are fast, Oliver.
I'm not. I played
I'm
tennis.
fast if someone's chasing me.
I don't know about that even.
I do. No, if someone's chasing me, I'm fast. That's how it goes.
The baby moves up to 13 miles an hour.
I'm fast when someone's chasing me. Just saying.
All right. So, Ridge Inhofer going to lead this one off. Outside, now a 1-0. To a 1-0 count. Taken high, so a 2-0. Ridge Inhofer drew 6 walks in just 3 games at the state tournament this week, or the week past. He has been pretty good. All in all, that's a strike. No ball. I'm off. It's hour number 9 or something doing this, and clearly my strike zone, which was calibrated pretty good earlier, not doing so well right now.
Now give yourself a break too. Every strike zone's different for each umpire.
That's off the plate. So Ridge takes another walk. He's been doing that lately. He does have some track speed. Did hurdles in high school. Not exactly the best straight line guy though. He's not our fastest stolen base player, but he's really fast if you put him in the outfield playing center. You know, his 0 to 60 is a little low, but his top speed is pretty great. And so a leadoff walk, as good as a leadoff single. And 4 pitches, Mechna puts a man on. Bring up Philip Bentz.
You just had heard the "It's Just Ken" Barbie song as a leadoff, as a walk-up music.
Philip Bentz switched away from George Strait.
Well, he switched away from Clint Black.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because he was leaving here a better man, and now he's Ken. Just Ken.
Nice. All right, 1-0. That's a strike. Delivered. Must have made a big impact. The Barbie movie made a big impact on me. It was fantastic.
You took me to that movie. We had a fun time at the upstairs screening room at the historic Elks Theater. It was fun.
So 1-1. Elk, speaking of which, Elkhorn delivers. That's a strike. So 1-2 now. A couple of heaters thrown in the zone. I might note that Mechna taking a little off of his fastball right now, exchanging for some more accuracy. I'm noticing that's maybe high 80s right now, which is still crazy, but still. So 1-2 to Bentz. Swing and a miss, strike 3. They throw to second, not going to get the runner. And so a stolen base is successful, but an out is recorded. Philip Bentz goes down swinging, a rarity for him. Maybe he was startled by the stolen base attempt. But nonetheless, Ridge Inhofer does take second. So that's the 3rd strikeout of the game here for Mechna. He's been punching out a lot of hard hats, bringing up Aaron Roach, the junior. He's playing left today. He's only done that like 3 times, but he did it in the game. The Hard Hats lost the state, got knocked out of the state tournament in against Yankton. Coach Torvey said, okay, all right, Aaron, you did well. You did make a good throw or two, but it's like, I don't know if that's the game you want to model after. So 1-0 count. Man in scoring position. Roach was batting over 500 for like the first month of the year. Now he's sitting a little above 300, I think. Like 305, 306. Something in that range. So it's a 1-1 count. That was a good pitch from Mechna. So 1-1. Mechna delivers. Ooh, high and inside. That one had some extra juice on it, and we're looking at a 2-1. Thank you all for tuning in here to Hardhats TV. What a crazy week, or crazy day. Nothing especially close in the games, but all of them very competitive. Of course, great teams. But I've noticed that great teams don't seem to find a way to beat other great teams as much as they find a way to, well, like they don't find a way to adapt and hit great teams. They find a way to shut down the other team.
That's an outstanding observation, and it's so true. And great teams do not beat themselves. That's something that's also very evident. And I always say this about baseball, great baseball teams, they own the final inning, whether it's the 9th inning or the 7th inning. The last inning belongs to the great teams.
All right, so a full count now. The claps are going for Aaron Roach. Roach, been having trouble with the K's lately. The payoff pitch, outside, ball 4. So now now 2 men on the base paths. Hardhats looking like they might get a chance here with 1 out to maybe shift the paradigm a little in this game.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Coach Kelvin Torvey and the Hardhats getting excited, and I just saw Coach Torvey show some excited emotion.
Impossible.
Here we go.
Coach Torvey doesn't show emotion.
He does.
I don't know about that.
It's not all the time.
That's a strike. So delivered right there at the letters. Wilson Kiefer watches it. Kiefer really coming back to his early season form in the tournament. He had some pretty good hitting performances. He did have that shaky defensive series in Sioux Falls, but at state he was pretty good. So an 0-1 count. Pitch. Bunt shown, pulled back. He falls all the way out of the box. Is there like a rule where if your foot touches out of the box while you're still at bat, is that like a strike? Because you got to stay in the box at some point. I think Roach might have had his foot down by the time the catcher caught it, as he leaned out of the box.
I don't know the answer to that question. Maybe someone in our chat room does.
That's high. Yeah, I gotta wonder because he was like leaning over the edge and stepped across the plate by the time that thing was out there because he tried to reach forward and lost his balance. So a 2-1. 2-1 count here to Wilson Kiefer. Mechna delivers a swing and a miss. Fast heater gets by Kiefer, and now we go to a 2-2. Good crowd on hand. All in all. 2-2. That's high. Very high, and now we go to a full count. Mechna lost his grip on that one. Mechna throwing a no-hitter. As weird as it is to say, he hasn't allowed anything in the hit department. He does have 3 walks allowed and an error. That is unrelated to, well, 1 unrelated to him, 1 on him. And the pitch, down and away. The claps are working. That's the 3rd full count walk that I've seen in this inning.
This is perhaps the greatest home field advantage in all of Legion baseball. And for the Hardhat fans, they know how to build pressure and really get to the opposing pitcher in key moments. And that steady clap, I mean, that's as good as a tomahawk chop cheer down in Tallahassee, Florida, or Atlanta, Georgia, or Kansas City, Missouri. I mean, it's an effective baseball chant from the crowd.
Well, there has to be a correlation because that's the 3rd full count walk that the Hardhats have drawn in this inning. Which
but it kind of shows that Mechna has a hard time finishing guys off, and you know that is kind of a chronic psychological mental block that pitchers can have from time to time. Is you almost you look the umpire, the manager in the dugout a lot of times is like, gosh, I wish he didn't know what the count was. He just would throw a strike.
That's going to be popped into left, going back further than he wants and making the grab. 1 run will come across now as Ridge Inhofer comes in to score. So the Hardhats do put up 1 more. They're slowly making their comeback. Out number 2 is recorded, and Ridge Inhofer comes across. Still 2 men on here in the bottom of the second.
A manufactured run against a flame-throwing pitcher for Elkhorn South who's yet to yield a hit. And, you know, the Hardhats, they are hanging in this game, and we all talk about this. A 2-run game is so much different complexion-wise than a 3-run ball game.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Wyatt Reeder now up, the lone lefty in the lineup here today. With Tate Crosswade out of it. Taking a little bit high. Tate Crosswade, the hard-hitting, left-handed all-state linebacker. It's not something you usually get, but it happens. He's going into his senior year at Rapid City Stevens. 1-0 count. Reeder fouls one off. He has a little something extra added to his batting helmet. You seeing that? He's got a white addition on the edge of the batting helmet right there.
It is a little different.
Maybe he has an ear guard? Is he oh, he's probably wearing it backwards. He's wearing somebody else's helmet for a righty.
Oh.
So he's putting an ear guard on the left side because he's a lefty.
That is interesting.
Huh, yeah, that's what's happening for sure. Because he's wearing a righty batter helmet. Taken inside.
Oliver, you catch things that in a million years I would never catch. We saw the movie Oppenheimer a couple weeks ago, and you understood what scenes were color, black and white, and why that was. I never would have figured that out if I watched that movie 12 times.
Hey, man, we're just on different wavelengths, I guess. 2-1. Way high, and it'll get away. Out of the catcher's glove. Both of the runners advance. Now 2 men in scoring position. And down in the count, 3-1 for Mechna to Wyatt Reeder. Reeder flew out to right his last time up.
A base hit here could tie this game. Consider how incredible Elkhorn South looked out of the gate. This is a big moment.
Just inside, he'll take it. So bases are loaded now, and Harry Good is coming up to bat.
And this is exactly who you want to be hitting with the bases loaded, trailing 4-2 in the bottom of the second inning against a powerhouse team from the Cornhusker state of Nebraska.
Yep. Well, this Hardhats team would really kick themselves if they didn't let this go. Ooh, that was nearly wild. Just barely handled by the catcher McDonald. And so ball number 1. A wild pitch again. The Hardhats, well, first of all, this is the same situation Leidy faced in the top of the inning. Leidy got out of it with a double play, a big swing and a miss. It was actually a worse situation for Leidy. He got out of it. Who's to say Mechna can't? But he does seem to be walking a lot of guys. He's walked 4 this inning, and 1 in the last. A walk would bring home a run. Take it high. So now it's 2-1. Count. Pitch. That's a swing and a miss material. How about that? That one definitely touching the 90s.
This is a special matchup. Mechna versus Harry Good. Doesn't get any better than this. Oh, with the bases loaded, makes it even better.
And 2 outs.
With 2 outs. So this is what it's all about right here.
So no matter what, the next few pitches here will have a big impact on this game. So 2-2 count. Mechna delivers. That's a bouncer in the dirt. And succumbs to the pressure. The claps are going to be on again with the full count here. 3 times now he's walked a man with the full count. We'll see if he can overcome that or if Harry Good will bring in a run on the walk. That's another wild pitch, bringing in 1, coming home from second. He's charging home. He will be safe. The game is tied. Wilson Keeper all the way from second base.
Wow. hope no one challenges whether or not the man from third left the baseline. He was so far outside the third baseline. He was like almost closer to the dugout than he was home plate. But all's well that ends well, and it's a brand new game, folks. Even though the starting pitcher for Elkhorn South still
Hasn't allowed a hit. He has a no-hitter. He's having a Hunter Green no-hitter.
We have a 4-4 tie with a chance to take the lead right here, right now.
Would you qualify that as a stolen base at home? That's popped into center. It'll drop in and out of the glove of the Elkhorn player. Coming in to score. Very good. He will be safe. The Hardhats have taken the lead all the way back from 4-0 in 2 innings.
And that breaks up the no-hitter, and that is a half-dozen runs given up by Mechna and his friends from suburban West Omaha. Wow.
That one, a little bit interesting. That was not an easy play for the center fielder to make, but he sold out for it. He said, I'm not going to let this be a lead. I'm going to keep this thing tied. It got in his glove. At some level, it landed in his glove, but it shot out. They're going to come talk to Mechna. Mechna's done.
Mechna is
Woo! That is a development.
90 mile per hour.
It was the no-hitter.
Headed to the Big Ten.
Big Ten.
Headed to the Pac-12 is, well, perhaps Big Ten.
Yeah, you could be right in the end, but
I think that's how it's going to go. But anyway, wow, the Hardhats, they answered the bell. They were down 4-0 in this game. If you're just joining us, they have rallied, put up a run back in the first. Now a handful, a bushel full of runs against Elkhorn South in the bottom of the second inning. And the Hardhats, the host team here in the Central Plains Regional Tournament, on top of Elkhorn South. We mentioned it at the outset of our broadcast. The Hardhats in an unfamiliar role, coming in as the underdog at home. But you know, we did see the Hardhats in that role against Cheyenne Post 6 back on May 22nd. Hardhats for that weekend. The Hardhats won 2 out of 3. And we saw the Hardhats against Next Level Baseball rally to that dramatic victory on Harrison Good's walk-off home run in the bottom of the 7th on the coldest 4th of July recorded in the history of Rapid City, South Dakota, to win the firecracker.
also the hottest in the world.
And, you know, right now, what we do know about the Hardhats here on August 2nd is that the Hardhats play up to their level of competition. The Hardhats were the only team to beat Millard South, the Hagee team, Pat Hagee team in Southwest Omaha. And, you know, that says it all. The Hardhats take down the biggest teams out there. They never blink. They always compete. And the Hardhats now lead 6-4.
So JT Roy has entered the game for Michael Mechna. And Mechna finishes the game with 1.2 innings pitched, with at least 5 earned runs. He's still on the hook for Dietrich on second, and with 3 strikeouts. He would be in position to get the loss here if the Gold are unable to retake the lead or tie it at any point. So, fouled off by Pollock. First pitch is a strike. JT Roy also going to college for baseball. He's going to play at Iowa Lakes Community College. Taking the JUCO route. A lot of people on this Hardhats team doing that.
That's Lake Okoboji, Iowa Lakes.
That kid's away, and he'll get over to the third. So Dietrich advances.
Doesn't get much better than Iowa Lakes Community College as a setting to play Midwestern Junior College anything, because you're up against, you're right there at Lake Okoboji, the Iowa Great Lakes, the largest blue water, freshwater lakes in America.
What does that mean? Like things don't grow in it, so there's no algae?
No, it just means it's a blue water lake. It means it's
What
the
qualifies
best
as
lake.
blue? Because the Great Lakes are pretty blue.
You're asking the wrong person.
The Great Lakes are pretty blue.
I just know that it's a blue lake. And lakes
So is Lake
should
Superior.
be blue.
That's gonna be a pop. No, not a pop. That'll be a foul ball.
I have been to Lake Okoboji multiple times, and the lake is blue.
I've been to Lake Michigan a couple times. That lake was blue too.
It's not blue.
Strike three. That'll be the end of the inning. So finally getting out of it, JT Roy finishes. And the Hardhats put up 5 in the bottom of the inning. They turned this thing into a 3-run deficit into a 2-run lead. Thanks to a ton of walks and exploiting some weaknesses in the game of Michael Mechna, some good clapping, and the end of that. So we enter the third inning, completely different game than the one we entered in the first and the one we entered in the second.
If anyone can figure out this game, let us know. This has really been something. And how about Hayden Lighty goes to the mound in the top of the third inning now, understanding that he has a lead. His team has staked him to a 2-run advantage. And boy, right now, how big does that double play in hindsight look for post 22? I think you can make the case that that's shifted the momentum in the early stages of this ballgame.
I think that's completely fair to say. Things were really piling on there, and 1 run didn't look like enough. Oh, look at the Keybirds go. Look at their shirts. They're awesome. They've got their little happy bird on the front, and then they got the bird on the back. It just says bird.
And how about the bus? It's a Williston Coyotes bus that the Keybirds will be getting into and going back to the hotel. And yeah, you know, it's just a classy Baltimore Oriole inspired uniform and logo. Outstanding.
Yep. And I love the color scheme too. So Lighty, first pitch here. That's a strike right down the middle. Lighty probably eternally thankful to all of his teammates there for getting him this lead after a shaky first did some damage to the Hardhats. He will face Jake Ulrich here to start off the inning. Ulrich struck out swinging on a foul tip that Philip Bentz picked up just off the ground in the first inning.
That foul ball goes over the pavilion, and now children racing after the foul ball. Everything they've got.
They're still worth 50 cents at every other game. So, you know, send your kids in here, let them make you money or something. Oh, wow, right off the inside of the shoulder there, the pec maybe. And reaching first base will be Ulrich. The leadoff man gets aboard on a hit by pitch. Hayden Lighty, not normally the guy to get to hit anybody.
No, that was a rare hit by pitch issued by Hayden Lighty, and you never want to give up a base to the leadoff man, especially in a game like this. Here we go again.
Well, man up to bat now. Carter O'Neill got a 2-run double in the last inning, in the first inning, off of the wall. That's a good bunt put down. Lighty picks it up, throw to first. A routine play is made. The runner advances. So the sacrifice bunt successful, and Ulrich heads over to second.
Well, one thing's for sure, this Elkhorn South team, very accomplished at putting down bunts. We saw that perfect bunt back in the first inning, and that bunt, for all intents and purposes, was close enough to perfect to me, as Alabama used to sing about.
Luke Hoskinson fouls off the first pitch. Hoskinson, a junior on this team. You should have seen the first baseman for St. Michael. He's 6'6", 225. He's got the Bradley Feeser build, but he's even taller, and he's slender, and it's a crazy. It was fun to see him stand next to the first baseman for Harrisburg Gold. It was like the Aaron Judge, Jose Altuve photo.
Kind of shift in the wind, the weather kind of doing some different things. Right now, the American flag is stuck to the pole. It's something that you don't like the sea.
Oh, the whole thing's been moving around all day.
Yeah, I wish someone could just be able to loosen it up from the pole there.
The wind, God will. So it's 1-1. Askinson. Waiting the 1-1.
You are correct, Oliver. The good Lord has separated the flag from the pole. It's no longer stuck.
There you go. That's grounded. And he will hold the runner, not quite enough, and he will get over to third. So an attempt to hold the runner from Hayden Hollick, not going to be successful. But they do get a run at first, or they do get down at first, and it'll bring up the catcher, Crew McDonald.
Now the wind is now blowing
Out?
in. Slightly.
Is it?
It is. It's blowing in slightly.
Barely.
And the weather doesn't
really do anything.
We do have a flash flood watch in effect tomorrow through Saturday that was issued by the National Weather
That is
Service.
lame.
A 96% chance of rain is forecast for Friday.
I can't believe the weather would do this to us during the Central Plains Regional. They knew we were doing this. It was on the calendar for so long. So McDonald now down in the count 0-2. He struck out swinging to Lighty his last time up to end the first. That's one in the dirt. The man at third starts to take a few steps towards home, holds up just about, slides in the dirt, or slides in the pellets, I guess, trying to keep his footing.
One strike away is Hayden Lighty, keeping this game 6-4.
All right, so Lighty, he usually comes through in these moments. The 1-2. Outside, good work from Bentz to keep that in front of him. A wild pitch would almost certainly score the run. So we go to a 2-2 count. We're building up a significant amount of like shoulder muscle off of operating the scoreboard all day. And, you know, doing my scorebook, a lot of movement there. That's a little bit off. And just about, so we go to a full count.
My offer stands, Oliver. You need to step in at all tomorrow for a game, maybe. I could do it if you need.
My shoulder's plenty strong.
There you go.
Did a lot of
Your
service.
voice is holding up.
It is. It's also getting a little bit raspier, which is helpful. That's a swing! No, not even a swing. That'll punch out. And Hayden Lighty freezes the batter. And McDonald will go down on strikes. He's able to get out of trouble despite the leadoff man getting aboard. And the Hardhats maintain a 6-4 lead going into the bottom of the fourth.
So I want to share this. You and I were walking through the batting cage area on the inside of the facility here at Fitzgerald Stadium when the Hardhats returned from the state tournament in Yankton. And I looked up and there was a banner and it said, "Mission to go to Shelby." But you know, if the Hardhats win this game and go on to win this tournament, folks, they're going to the World Series. How
For the ninth time.
Exciting that would be for the Hardhats. They are able to go to the World Series if they emerge from this tournament, a tournament they are not expected to win. Flashback to last year, Hardhats were not expected to win the state tournament here at home. They did that. See if the Hardhats have some more Fitzgerald Stadium magic like they did at state last year, like they did 4th of July weekend when they won the firecracker this year.
Okay, so JT Roy going to come out for a second inning of, for a second inning of work. I mean, he only got one out, but technically second inning. And something to note here, the Hardhats have the most World Series appearances out of anybody in this field. They have 8 appearances. I mean, when you make it to 44 state, you know, you make it to like 45 regionals and you get 8, it's like, but we got 8, and we're one of 2 teams in the field here today that has won the World Series overall with Eden Prairie, who did it in 2011. But The Hardhats have the most appearances. Eden Prairie has 3, then Fargo Post 2 has 4. And so that's that. Harrisburg, St. Michael, this PDG team, all these guys looking for their first trip. Williston, same deal, looking for their first trip to the Nationals. They're going to have quite a road between them.
It's just a tremendous field assembled here at Fitzgerald Stadium for the next 5 days. Folks, if you're watching, come on down. Make sure you take in the games. And yes, tomorrow, definitely the best looking day weather-wise, and a chance to see 4 games. Tomorrow is really that day to make sure you get on down and watch some of the best baseball in the northern and central plains.
Well, that was pretty. 3 pitches from Roy, all very well located, painting the corners for the first out of this inning. That'll be a bunt put down. Third baseman muffs it. It's in and out of his hand there. He tries to barehand it out of the glove. It rolls around in there, doesn't quite stick in his fingers. And that'll go down as, I believe, will that go down as an error?
I would say it will be an error, but I would say it seems like it should have been a shared error because it was Roy, the pitcher, that obscured the view for the third baseman, and by the time he got the ball in his hand, he was at a disadvantage because his concentration was broken for a key moment on that play.
Oh, Philip Bench showing his infield abilities these last few weeks. He went 5 for 8 in the state tournament over his 3 games, and none of them made it out of the infield. That is fouled off. He had a couple of hustle singles where he would just slap it and run, and I didn't even know he had jets that he turned on there. And he showed them. And then he also had a few good bunts that got down as well. A whole bunch of just hustle. 0-2. That's a little bit inside. So sitting off on that one, we go to a 1-2 here for Aaron Roach. Roach had a walk his last time up and came around to score. The 1-2. Roy gives him one. Swing and a miss on the stretch out slider. That's a beauty of a pitch. That's the kind of pitch I use in MLB The Show. Absolutely love that kind of thing. You get Chom Glavine, some sort of finesse pitcher with a slider in the mid-80s. You stretch him out to the other batter's box. Works every time. So that's the 3rd strikeout of the game now for the pitcher, Roy.
These teams have combined for 10 runs, and right now we may have our first scoreless inning between both teams.
How about that? It's a foul ball off the catcher's mask over the netting. You don't see that all the time. You know the mask is doing well, though. All of the energy went back to the baseball.
Yeah, the mask got the job done. Actually, kind of a moment there with the umpire and the catcher, I think, somewhat commiserating. If anyone knows the power of a good mask, it's an umpire over the course of many summers.
1-1. Fouled right into the glove for strike number 2. Roy's slider has been enough to strike out 2 guys in this 2 guys so far, and he was able to blank somebody with a curveball earlier as well. That's just fouled off. The curveball not going to get Wilson Kiefer. Kiefer did walk on a full count, came around to score his last time up. So it's a 1-2 count. Bentz takes off. That's a grounder over to third and bouncing to the first baseman. Keeper taking off for second. Bentz going to hold up there. And another error. Sloppy defense so far this game from the PNG Gold has left outs on the board that have turned into runs. This may be no different.
Well, right now, Elkhorn South halfway to 6 errors in this game, and it kind of brings back flashbacks for a lot of Hardhats fans to when Post 22 was able to beat Cheyenne Post 6, an outstanding team, the Wyoming State champs.
They're out at the Northwestern Regional right now. They won Wyoming.
And you look at this. Any great team can be completely undone and should never expect to beat anybody when they
Swing and a
commit 6
miss.
errors.
Swing and a miss for strike 2. Aiden Roberts, a very hard out to get, very rarely strikes out. He did do that to Mechna earlier on a watched ball. That is going to be poked into left. It will be caught. So, a little bit too much underneath that one, and 2 runs are stranded. Roy able to get out the inning without surrendering anything, and we go into the top of the 4th. Hardhats still lead by 2 runs. Hayden Leidy coming out for his 4th inning now. So to recap that inning for the Hardhats, they put up 1 hit. They score no runs. There are no earned runs. There's 1 error on the third baseman for the PNG or PDG Storm Gold. That is on the third baseman Carter O'Neill, and then 2 men are left aboard, and it remains 6-4.
So Oliver, let's bring up a big project that you've completed and put out there on social media. You were able to chronicle the entire Hardhats season for 2023, and you, I think, gave the team and the fans a marvelous gift. You have the 3 greatest moments for every post-22 Hardhats player that played at least 10 games this season. Way to go, Oliver, to put that much time, effort, and analysis and presentation work into capturing memories that will last forever. It was truly a great thing you did, and hopefully fans can check out the top 3 moments for every post-22 player.
It's on Facebook and Instagram.
It's on Facebook and Instagram, and I guess people know how to get to those 2 places. I really don't, but
you don't know how to get to any. You know how to get to ESPN on your phone. You can get to Facebook on your phone.
All right.
If you can press in ESPN.go, you can press Facebook.com.
Well, it's on social media. I bet the response has been great.
I haven't even checked, but yeah. So PNG or PDG, I keep on saying that. Not portable. I don't know. It's N something graphic. I've been dealing with a lot of PNGs this week. You'll see 2 of them up in the colors up there by the names of the teams. So we've got our games tomorrow all set up. Once we know who this is, we'll know all the games. So that is going to go to Roberts, and that'll be out number 1. A soft grounder into the second baseman will retire Connor Preble to start off the inning. Bringing up Kobe Eichmeyer. Eichmeyer, 2 for 2 with a single and a double so far in this game. He also has 2 stolen bases. He's been doing pretty well. Exactly what you want out of a leadoff guy, and he's going to set the table for his teammates here if he can. So taking low, 1-0. So 1-0 count. Leidy, ooh, wild pitch there, goes very high. And it's now 2-0. Leidy, not a very good pitcher when he's behind in the count. He's a big first pitch strike guy. That's how he did so well against Thunder Bay, Ontario, and Brandon Valley in his complete game shutouts this year. Was getting ahead in the count and leaving nobody on and having nobody on the bases most of the time. He's a best pitcher when there's nobody on the bases. He's ahead in the count. At that point, I think he becomes an elite pitcher once he gets there. So 1 man will reach base. A 4-pitch walk is issued to Eichmeyer. And it'll bring up Carson Rauner. Rauner, 1 for 1 with a walk as well. He's done a pretty good job here for the PDG Storm. The top of this order, clearly elite among this field. Whoever loses this game going to get a tough matchup and going to face a very hard time surviving to face day 3, as they're going to get an Eden Prairie team from Minnesota that finished second in theirs. And won over 40 games this year. They lost to Fargo Post 2, who personally I think is among at least the top 3, if not the most qualified team to win this thing, win this region. So go to an 0-1. They come in 43-6. Didn't lose a game in their state tournament. They look poised for something special, but a lot of teams in here that would disagree with me on that, and I hope they prove me wrong.
And Hardhats are one of those teams that, Hardhats are here, they are winning, and they are playing Hardhats baseball on the biggest stage.
So we go to a 1-1 count. That's going to be lined into right center. It'll get down. It's going to get, no, not past Good. So it'll just be a single. Harry Good able to stop it from getting to the wall. And there are now runners on the corners with 1 out.
Harrison Good did something very impressive with his defense in right field a moment ago, and that is that he assessed what the angle was he needed to take to get to that ball on a hop.
Oh, no.
That's a lot harder to do on the road than it is at home.
Oh,
I give
Colin
credit
Lighty.
to Harrison Good. He got it done.
Oh.
And kept Elkhorn South from scoring another run.
So Hayden Lighty going to exit the game now. Eli Kelly, White Tiger, going to take his place on the mound, the relief ace for the Hardhats. Hayden Lighty leaving what might be his final game of Legion baseball.
Well, what a marvelous season this has been for Hayden Lighty, and Hayden having success with Post 320 prior to this year, I'm told, and he has just been, as advertised, he's been great. His breakthrough performance was at Joe Kurtz Field in Billings, Montana, against the Billings Scarlets on a Saturday night game we had for you on Hardhats TV. And, now one thing I really like here is Coach Kelvin Torvey. He understands the setting, the situation, and he respects the opposition. And we haven't always seen Coach Torvey maybe go to his bullpen this early. But, at this moment in time, Coach Torvey, with his instinctive knowledge of this game we call baseball, understood that it was perhaps a good move to go to Eli Kelly, who has just been dynamite out of the pen all summer long.
Eli Kelly also a shoe-in for state, or for all state, I would assume. He's thrown over 70 innings this year with an ERA around 1.1. He's been great.
Eli is just one of those pitchers. He's unflappable. He just pitches. He doesn't.
He just fills up the zone with a whole bunch of soft tosses, and then you just pretty much, he's just a ground ball pitcher, a la Richard Blyer, who just pitches into soft grounders, and that's exactly what you need here with a double play ball in effect and 1 man on third.
Yeah. That's exactly what they need. A double play is in order here, so if Eli Kelly can induce a double play ball from Elkhorn South, then the game will remain at 6-4 in favor of Post 22.
All right. So Eli Kelly getting set. He will have to face the pitcher Roy here with 1 out. Oh no, Mechna's still in as a DH or something. Michael Mechna stays in the game and will bat third. His last 2 times up, he has a single and a walk. He's been pretty successful. Eli Kelly throws strikes. You're not going to accomplish anything by taking Eli Kelly balls, because all of them are good enough to hit, but you're not going to hit them. And they're all more or less in the strike zone. I feel like 70% of Eli Kelly pitches hit the zone. Pickoff attempt, not in time. Eli Kelly only has 1 of those on the year.
Never hurts to try anyway.
I mean, you could miss the throw.
Well, okay. You're right.
I saw that happen
You're right.
earlier this game.
Yeah, we saw that. You're right. Never mind.
So 0-1. Kelly, curveball! How about that? That one's just kind of, it inches its way at the maybe low 60s.
Oh, I think it was
high
upper
50s.
50s.
It was a near eephus curveball there, but it found its way right down the middle of the zone. So, Mechna, looking at a no-2 count. Eli, don't you dare give him a curveball. Oh, there it is!
Oh man, you and I watched a ping pong movie last night where the ball hits the edge of the table a few times to psych out the opposing goalie. And you know what we just saw there from Eli Kelly were just a pair of downright wicked curveballs that just caught the batter marveling, looking, and shaking his head when it was over.
So 3-pitch strikeout for Kelly. Now up to 2 outs. That's going to be hit high and to right. Good underneath it. He will make the grab. So that'll be the inning. Coach Torby seems to have plugged in the right thing at the right time. And nobody scores in the 4th inning for PDG goal.
All right, well, the Hardhats, right where they want to be. They have a lead halfway through this ball game. They're at home with the crowd behind them. It is a nice night for baseball. Clouds have overtaken things. The lights really starting to take effect here at Fitzgerald Stadium, and Hardhats have played a clean game, and that's the difference in this game, Oliver, is that,
errors.
Elkhorn South has committed 3 errors. The post-22 Hardhats without a single blemish in terms of the error column, and you know, it doesn't matter that the Hardhats have been out hit 7-2. What counts is runs. The Hardhats lead 6-4, and it's all made possible by the fact that Elkhorn South has really struggled in the infield with their infield defense, and we'll see if the Hardhats are able to continue to build and put pressure. Here's something to consider for Elkhorn South. They scored 4 runs in the first. They have not scored since the 1st inning. And at this point, Elkhorn South, who lost their Super Power 5 ace, Mechna, after 2 innings of action tonight, simply is not where they want or expected to be, perhaps as a favorite coming into this game against Post 22.
Well, it's hard to crown a favorite. There aren't exactly betting odds here.
No, well, we understand that, but
oh no, somebody was in the chat asking who would be the favorite. And I'm like, we can't exactly predict that, but you'd have to put your money close to the state champions in this event. I feel like that's fair.
Also, I mean, the Hardhats will be considered the underdog because they were not among the top 2 finishers.
They were the 5th finisher
in the Mount Rushmore State.
They finished tied for 5th in the state tournament last week. So 3-0. Roy quickly falling behind in the count here. I just saw a girl make a backflip on the knoll over there. That was awesome. All right, 3-0. To Wyatt Reeder. Reeder does have a walk in the game. That is a strike. Roy able to deliver that. JT Roy, I don't know. With a name that short and a name like JT, I don't know. That sounds like a DU name to me. Like, all their basketball players always seem to have really short names like that.
So, what do you mean by DU? Denver?
Yes, Denver University. I know nobody cares about DU basketball.
Well, some people would think you meant Drake.
Oh, do you think Drake?
Well, DU.
Then there's the Dartmouth people.
DU. Okay. No, the Dartmouth people. Let's call it Dartmouth.
Yeah, you're right. Roy puts one down. Is that a foul butt? Oh no! In and out of the glove of the catcher, I think. So I think if that is a foul tip on a bunt, that is an out, right?
I'm not sure.
I think. Anyways,
Squeezed properly, it is.
He didn't think he was hitting himself, so he was upset about something. He didn't record the out anyways. But Harry Good he has 2 runs in this game, a RBI walk and a reaching on an error by the shortstop, Eichmeyer. So Harry Good up to bat. He puts down a bunt. Harry, I love you, man. I don't know how good we are at the bunts. He had 2 pop outs in a game against Brookings last week, on the attempted sacrifice bunt. And I don't know, Harry. I love you, man. You might be better just swinging at it. So it's 0-2.
He's following orders.
I know. Not following that any further. All right, 0-2. Ooh, very good. Flinches a little that one. Acted like he's on a boogie board out there. So it's a 1-2. Now to good. Roy does have 3 strikeouts so far in this game. That's smacked into the gap. Very good. Puts it through. Eichmeyer sells out, trying to keep that one in the infield. Not going to happen. And so the first hit of the day off of Roy is successful. Or second hit of the day, Philip Betts had a bunt single. No, it was a bunt single, but it was partially an error on the third baseman. Anyway, that's the first clean hit of the game off of Roy. And Harry Good gets aboard. 2 men on, nobody out now. Hardhats looking to extend their lead. Now that it's in Eli's hands, I feel like if you give him 3, he should finish it out. Even as good as this team is, I saw him pitch 4 scoreless against Cheyenne Post 6 in a 2-run game to win a game there. Cheyenne Post 6 in the Northeast Regional, or the Northwest Regional, which is weird because I think that in that Northwest Regional was like only one of the Pacific Northwest teams. I think it's either Michigan or like either Washington and Oregon, but then there's also Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming there. Which I would argue only Idaho I would consider even slightly northwestern out of those states.
Well, I think that maybe they have a Pacific name for the Oregon and Washington regional or something like that. So that might be an aptly named region if you are putting Washington and Oregon
I don't know.
on the coast.
There's a western and a northwestern.
Yeah, I guess western would be the coastal.
That's a strike. So now we go to 2-1. Roy pulling up his pants a little. The belt seems to have slipped. So now we go to a 2-1. Man on first and second, still nobody out, and Alex Dietrich up to bat. Dietrich got the double, the 2-run double last time. He pulls back a bunt. Now he's looking at 3-1. Coach Torvey gives him the signal. The energy I'm feeling off of Torvey is just get a bunt down. I know he doesn't like what you're giving him, but he's either going to throw you a walk, but I'm still telling you to bunt. There it is. And he does it. So that's a little hard. They're going to get... No! A lollipopper over to third will allow the runner to get to be safe. They had a play at like 3 different bases there, but a lollipop throw was not the move.
That's the best lollipop since Willy Wonka right there. I mean, that was absolutely a poor decision that loads the bases for post 22.
I don't even think that goes down as an error because it was a successful throw. It got there, but it was just so slow. I wonder what possessed him to throw a high archer like that.
I've got the song Candyman by Sammy Davis Jr. going through my mind after that last play.
So, fouled off by Hollick. It's looking almost certain for Hardhats to score at least 1 in this inning. Give Kelly a bit of an advantage. Hardhats failed to get the first win in the 8-team bracket that was the South Dakota Regional. They lost to Brookings. Swing and a miss, strike 2. That was a good pitch there from Roy on the bottom left corner of the zone.
Hardhats are playing their kind of baseball tonight, and it doesn't matter what happened in Yankton. What matters now is what's happening here, and the Hardhats are making the most of this opportunity in game 1 of this 5-day extravaganza.
0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Roy gets his 4th strikeout of the game on a stretch-out slider. That's been his bread and butter here. And that is Hayden Hollick's 3rd strikeout of the game. He's in golden sombrero watch. Sorry to do that to you, Hayden, but it is the truth. Ridge Inhofer now up. He's taking walks galore, and with the bases loaded, that's exactly what you want. Popped up, out of play. Something else to note: out of every state in America, this region with Minnesota, North Dakota, Nebraska, and South Dakota has teams from this region have the highest odds of making the Nationals out of every team. because two teams get in from everything. That is crushed into the deep right corner. Oh no, it'll bounce off, or not bounce off, it'll be caught out there, arm up in the air, after it kind of flukes a little bit right into the glove of the right fielder. 1 run, real score there. The second out of the inning is recorded. And so a sacrifice fly, the runner will advance to third. That is Harry Good advancing to third base, and Wyatt Reeder comes in to score.
Well, we said it earlier, we'll say it again, and now the complexion dramatically different with the 3-run lead. The Hardhats with their dynamite bullpen staked to such a big lead here in the bottom of the 4th with the 3-run advantage.
So runners on the corners, 2 outs here, and Philip Bentz up to bat. That's a jobber. So as I was saying, the states in this region have the highest odds out of any states in the nation to reach the championship, because 2 teams get in from World Series, because everybody gets in. We are the only region out of the 8 who have just 4 teams. So the top 2 get in. 4 states. Okay, 8 teams. You're right, but the closest is the Great Lakes regions with Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and Wisconsin. They've got 5, but even then, not all top 2 teams get in for most states. You can look at the Northeast. They bring 7 states to the party. Same with the Southeast and the Mid-South, bringing 7 states. We're the Kansas is in there with Alabama. And that'll be a balk! A balk call! Nobody knows what a balk is. I don't know what a balk is. I can't tell you what a balk is and what isn't a balk.
I think I can. I'll try. I understand a balk is when a pitcher
I can give you the definition.
Leaves the rubber, or the pitcher does not set himself, and that is what will result in a balk call.
I can tell you the definition. That's a strike 3. So Roy gets out of the inning. He does allow 2 in that one, and both of them earned to him. The Hardhats make it a 4-run lead here, commanding lead entering the back 3 of this game in the top of the 5th.
I think you can look it up. The Hardhats have never lost here at home when they've scored 8 runs. That seems to be the magic number. Number of times the Hardhats have scored 8, including dramatic come-from-behind wins over Cheyenne Post 6, Lincoln Southwest in the Veterans Classic.
Dear Lord, we got close with Pierre and Casper that one Sunday. Yeah. Those were both 9 to 8 games.
But, you know, when the Hardhats score 8 runs at Fitzgerald Stadium, they have simply come out on top. That seems to be the magic number. I know what that's like. I'm a San Diego Padres fan, as many fans probably know by now. And the Padres, when they score 4 runs this year, they have a 75% winning percentage. And that's particularly notable for a Padres team that at the moment is 1 game under 500 after today's 11-1 whitewashing of the Colorado Rockies at Coors Field.
Oh, I just realized that the Northwest region has a lot more teams than I thought, or a lot more states than I thought it does. It has 7. So only the champion from all 7 states plus 1.
Those are the Northwest.
That's what I was saying. I was in the middle of saying that. That's okay. I was halfway through the sentence explaining how many teams. Anyways, so 7 teams from Northwest. All the champions get there, and then the host, which is Gillette. So maybe Casper gets in too because they were the extra Wyoming team.
Because Cheyenne won.
Oh, you're right. Gillette gets in. So the Gillette Riders, that's going to be lined in the left, and a leadoff single for the Jack Ulrich will get PDG on the board or on the bases to start off this inning against Eli Kelly. That was a quick start for the Storm, but Carter O'Neill now up. He's 1 for 1. He did have a sack bunt in the last time up, and he had a 2-run double in the first inning. Popped up into right. Good. Underneath it. Makes the play. Out number 1 recorded. And that's how Eli does it. Just a whole bunch of soft hits. You can get a piece of it, you just can't take a whole bite. So Luke Luke Hoskinson now up. Very exaggerated stance. A lot of weight put on that back leg. That's grounded, chopped over to Dietrich. He will flip to short, and one play will be made. So they get the lead runner on a fielder's choice. Hoskinson will reach base, but Jack Ulrich is retired at second.
The key there, the Hardhats retired the lead runner, and now with 2 outs, Hardhats with a 4-run advantage, just in a great spot as long as they continue to do what they have all night, which is play their positions and not commit any errors.
Now, the PDG people, they're going to be looking at this matchup and go, uh-oh, because McDonald has struck out to end 2 different innings with runners in scoring position. Okay, well, I'm just saying he's ended innings on strikeouts. Not an out unless it's over the catcher's head. Oh, okay, that's how the bunt works. Thank you. I didn't know how bunt fouls. Thank you, David. Appreciate it. Didn't know how bunt fouls work.
I love chat rooms when they can give you information. It's a real blessing to have access.
Oh, we got 282 minds in here right now. That's a strike.
Knowledge. And we have a lot of Nebraska people watching. I'm from Omaha, from West Omaha, and I'll tell you, and Oliver, you know this. Us Nebraskans, we know football better than anybody anywhere. Other sports we don't necessarily know quite as well as we know football.
You're really good at women's bowling.
It's knowledge.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Nobody knows about women's bowling. It's different. Their fingers are smaller. I crack myself up sometimes. All right, 3-1. That's going to be lined into left. So, Crew McDonald does come through this time and gets his first hit of the day. 2 men on, 2 outs here. PDG storming a bit of a comeback, possibly, in the top of the 5th. They're starting something up, but there is 2 outs. It's going to be hard to bring anybody home. Plenty of runners already been stranded in this game. So reaching second is Hoskinson. And a quick heart-to-heart between the manager and the hitter, Connor Preble. Wait, this isn't Preble. Who is this? Oh, this is JT Roy. JT Roy getting his first AB of the game. So Roy replaced Preble. I guess somewhere in there, Mechna moved to the field. That explains it. Maybe he's in right now. So 1 out, 2 outs. A big waggle going on with the pitcher Roy taken outside. Eli's got to be careful not to walk the pitcher.
Right now, Eli's just doing what Eli does.
Wyatt's got something to tell him.
He's unflappable. And he's going about his work. Wilson Kiefer giving him a little bit of a pick-me-up talk there.
Or he saw something.
Probably a pick-me-up talk.
Okay. Oops. Sorry. All right, 2-0. Eli. Strike right down the middle, and 2-1. Thing is, he's really good at command, which when you're throwing at most mid-70s, the command would be easier than, of course, Mechna throwing in the 90s. That's a little bit up and away. So 3-1 count. A 3-1 count for Eli Kelly to JT Roy. Roy trying to draw a walk here. Kelly, tremendous command. He rarely walks anybody, but sometimes that is not going to be that time. So we get strike 2, and we go to a full count. Plenty of full count walks in this game so far. Most of them off of Michael Mechna, but we will see what's going to happen here. So Eli Kelly delivers. Grounded! Ooh, a sharp line drive foul along the first baseline will keep this at-bat going. Had that gotten out there, that could have been dangerous for Hardhats. Thank you all for tuning in. If you're watching from Lincoln or from Elkhorn, you know, we're broadcasting every game of the tourney here. Might as well subscribe. That's going to be grounded softly and a spinneroonie. Aiden Roberts finishes the job. Eli Kelly gets out of trouble, and PDG Storm are unable to score any in the top of the fifth. Eli Kelly keeps this thing scoreless. It's weird. 4 runs in the first, and nothing since.
Yeah, when you put up 4 zeros in a row against a phenomenal team from Nebraska, you have to feel really good. And for the Hardhats, they have been able to score in 3 out of 4 innings in which they've come to bat. And as we've said a number of times already, Hardhats have been able to capitalize on a trio, a myriad of errors committed by Elkhorn South. And so for post 22, they're really in a great spot. They are 6 outs away with a 4-run lead and with an opportunity to come to the bat 3 more times in this game. That's right where the Hardhats want to be as they're trying to get that huge first win of the Central Plains Regional Tournament.
Well, they put up 2 more in that last inning. They're on the verge of putting this thing to where it would be extremely improbable for a comeback. At the moment, it's improbable but very possible at a 4-run lead. You make that lead to 6, and you're like, oof, it would take something special to make that comeback.
I think right now the Hardhats they just need to keep playing their game, not even focus on the scoreboard. When you lead 8-4 and you're in a tournament like this, you just have to attack. No team benefits either from playing not to lose or taking your foot off the gas. And for the Hardhats, they have scored 8 consecutive runs in this game, and they have simply been the better team so far tonight. And the night's not over. And for the Hardhats, they just need to keep putting on more and more insurance runs as they work through this ball game.
All right, JT Roy gonna take the 0-1. Aaron Roach leading off this inning for post 22. Takes one outside. We're looking at a 1-1 now. Roy in his 4th inning of work. All in all, hasn't done an awful job. He's done solid. 2 earned runs over 2 2/3. Taken high, so it's a 2-1 now. All right, Aaron Roach. Swing and a miss. So like I said, broadcast of every single game from the tournament here, from the Central Plains Regional Tournament on Hardhats TV. All 14/15, depending on if somebody loses once or twice. That's going to be lined to the second baseman. Takes a hop. That was a hard hit ball. Finds its way into the glove of Rauner, and that'll be out number 1. Bring up Wilson Kiefer. All right, so 1 out here. Bring up Wilson Kiefer, swing and a miss, strike 1. Kiefer so far today, he reached on an error on the third baseman and also has a walk.
I want to give a big shout out to Steve Ammerman, South Dakota Sportscaster of the Year, the voice of Black Hills State University, who's probably watching tonight.
1-1, that's hit hard into right. It might be fair. It is foul. Oh, a little bit of a trip there at the bag for Kiefer. He holds his helmet, and he'll be fine. That one was just a little bit foul. The right fielder sold out for it. He wasn't totally sure, and luckily for him, he was unable to make the catch, but also unable to, but the ball never landed in for any consequence. So we go to a 1-2. I noticed Mr. Moreno is making good friends down there with the Fargo Post 2 players in the front row. 1-2. Roy delivers. Did he go? I think he did. Oh, it doesn't matter. That's a strikeout. They throw to first. That's a great throw from the backstop over 100 feet.
Not where you expect to see the greatest play of the game made, just well behind home plate. But I think that so far is the most star-worthy. If you hang a star on a web gem or a great defensive effort, we just saw it a moment ago. What a great play by that catcher for Elkhorn South.
You're rarely making that play as a catcher either. With the man, well, the thing is about that, there's a guy in the way.
Yeah, it makes it even more impressive. Crew just made a great play right there. Crew McDonald's the real deal.
So 1-1 count. Aiden Roberts, 1-1 count. Roy gives him a high pitch. So 2-1.
Oliver, I can tell you're mystified. I'll explain what just happened in our booth a moment.
Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Slows down in a little bit.
All right, so base is still empty with 2 outs here to Aiden Roberts. Roberts, the leadoff man, 0 for 3 in this game. That's strike 3 on the edge of the plate, and that'll be the inning. JT Roy, I'm going to let you guess how many Ks he has.
5.
7.
Oh. Well, so you had an awkward moment a moment ago as my good friend Braden Strain was taking some pictures of the technical setup here at Hardhats TV. Braden is my sidekick for the Security First Bank Cavalier Sports Network, where we present all of the St. Thomas More football, most of the girls soccer, and most of the volleyball, and the baseball, a lot of the baseball games, and then almost all of the home games for the Lady Cavs and Cavs legendary basketball teams. And anyway, it's just the setup as far as equipment, arrangements, just being kind of checked on there by Braden Strain, who will be a junior at St. Thomas More High School this year.
Huh. Well, if he wants a run through of how they work, I can always give him a tour.
We would appreciate that. Maybe we could make that happen.
Show up before the Hardhats game tomorrow.
There you go. Sounds good. By the way, really getting excited for St. Thomas More football. The Austin Hagen era going to begin soon. And Lee Negebauer will be the starting quarterback at Post 22. Hardhats, Lee Negebauer, a.k.a. Legatron, will be the starting quarterback for St. Thomas More.
So top of the 6th now. And there comes Kobe Eichmeyer. He's been unstoppable today. 2 hits, a single, a double, and a walk. He's gotten to third twice and was caught there. Eli throws a curveball that I guess it had a little too much on it.
General Manager Wayne Sullivan of Post 22 has taken St. Thomas More to the Dome a number of times, and Cavaliers hoping to accomplish that this year.
Good pitch there from Kelly for strike 2. Kobe Eichmeyer, 1-2 count. I see Jaden Moreno going out to the bullpen to signal to somebody something that's currently warming up out there. I doubt that they pull Eli unless something bad happens. He's known to go a number of innings. That's going to be skied into left. Roach tracking it. He's on the track and makes the grab. Out number 1. Aaron Roach, good for him out there. Should be noted, not a normal left fielder, usually third baseman. There's a cool hawk over the field right now.
Is that a hawk, an eagle, or a pelican?
No, I'm guessing not Pelican. We're not in Watertown.
You and I took a hike up the Hanson Larson.
That's going to be skied into center. Ridge Inhofer going back. That's all the way to the wall. That one was crushed. And it lands on the warning track. Cutoff man not going to have a play. A triple. Stand-up triple for Michael Mechna. That's his third hit of the day, or second hit of the day. Third time getting on base. And, hey, that's all I'm going to say.
Oliver, you and I went on the Wild Turkey Trail over the weekend, and we looked and saw below us a couple of turkey vultures that were flying. That's a pretty neat sight.
Yeah, we saw some turklets as well. Just the little guys. We'll bring up the cleanup man, Austin Guerreri. Oh, hello? Who called it? I like that Ben still tagged him. Always be sure.
Doesn't hurt.
Can't be sure what the box aren't real. I don't know how they work. I know that you could tell me the dictionary definition, but I can pull up like a whole bunch of times it wasn't called that way, and a whole bunch of times it was called that way. It's so subjective, is all I'm saying. It's the most subjective call in baseball. Swing and a miss. Look at that.
It's kind of like pass interference in football.
Yeah.
Or holding football. It's hard to be football.
It is. So, PDG Storm gets a run back. That's going to be strike 2. Beautiful little, very slow curveball. I gotta say, like 30 inches of vertical break on those curveballs, and gravity's doing most of the work. 0-2. Ooh, there's the curveball, but the location was a little bit short. It did get to the fake dirt portion of the turf there for the first ball. I've seen that work like twice, where he gets somebody and it like skips to him like a... That's going to be a hanging curveball, punished by Guerreri. And now, PDG Storm, look at them go. They're starting to do something. I know some people are warming up. We got 2 people warming up in the bullpen right now.
Well, don't go away, folks. The Hardhats had this game comfortably where they wanted it. They were up by 4 runs. They just needed 6 more outs. And Eli Kelly, who is Mr. Automatic on the mound, but things are changing in a big way in this Central Plains regional ballgame tonight.
How about that? So I got everything wrong. I was 1 person off in the scorebook. So Mechna is the guy who just got the single. The triple was from Carson Rauner, and the flyout was Kobe Eichmeyer. That's going to be skied into right, and good. Makes the grab. He needs to be told to go back. Harry Good, the throw. He gets him. Mechna caught dumbfounded.
Has such a cannon for an arm. That ball did not touch the ground, and that ball was thrown maybe about 5 yards in front, maybe 7 yards in front of the warning track in right field. Wow, that was special. But the Hardhats did yield a run, but they're only 3 outs away and they lead by 3. And another good sign, the Hardhats have a solid advantage. The Fargo Post 2 team headed for the exits.
This is who they'll play.
And,
they'll play the winner.
Okay, so yeah, the Hardhats perhaps going to play Fargo Post 2 tomorrow night. And we'll have it for you here on Hardhats TV.
So, actually, you know what? While we're waiting, here's our bracket at the moment. So this is what it looks like right now. We're waiting on the end of the Rapid City teams. But Fargo won their game against Eden Prairie earlier today. The winner will play Fargo. And then the loser will play against the Eden Prairie Eagles down there in the bottom left corner. First game of the day is going to be the Keybirds versus the Gold in the opening part of the day. That is 9:30 Mountain. That is 10:30 Central. And then at 12 Mountain, 1 Central, will be Eden Prairie versus the loser of this game. And then I believe it's going to be Carpet Land versus St. Michael, the two state champions, one from Nebraska, one from Minnesota. And then, of course, whatever happens in the end of this game, the winner will play tomorrow night against Fargo.
Oh, it's just what it's all about. What a great tournament this is going to be. Come on down. Tomorrow we're going to be in the 80s. And the weather forecast says it's going to be chilly the rest of the tournament, Friday through Sunday. Temperatures in the low 70s.
A short swing, gets in and out of the glove. That's another error. And it'll pop all the way into the corner. He's rounding, churning for 3. Look at Wyatt Reeder go. He is safe. Everybody to their feet here at the stadium.
Wow, when it rains, it pours, as the old Mort and Salt slogan used to say. And for the Elkhorn South Ball Club, they have now committed 4 errors. Hardhats have yet to commit an error, and that was a very costly leadoff 3-base error committed by the left fielder from Elkhorn, Nebraska.
Yeah, so Jack Ulrich in and out of his glove. They got to check on their gloves. That's 2 times now. That's a liner in the left. Harry Good gets another hit. And Wyatt Reeder comes in to score. They make up for the run in the top of the inning. And it goes back to a 4-run lead. Harry Good gets his his third hit of the day. No, second hit of the day. But he also reached on there. He's looking for his 4th run is all I'm going to say. If he comes around to score here, he will have 4 runs. Because he reached on there, and there's a walk in there, too, and it's like, okay. But, anyways, RBI single. Soft one hit into right, and caught.
Coach Calvin Torby and coaching staff for Post 22, they have to just feel great right now. Last week was a tough 3-game appearance at the state tournament in Yankton, South Dakota, and here we are at home in front of a huge crowd, and the Hardhats are absolutely where they want to be, up 9-5, the old Dolly Parton score, as I call it, with a solid lead here at Dave Flew Field.
Very good. Takes off. Head down. Out. Ike Meyer applies the tag. They call him out. So Harry Good will go down. And that'll be out number 2. Definitely a close play. They say Ike Meyer tagged him while he caught it, which, okay. If he did, that's impressive. So a 2-6 put out there on the hot stealing. It's a 1-1 count now here to Hayden Hollick. Hollick trying to avoid the golden sombrero. He's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Oh, they're going to check on the ball.
I think Hayden's due. Double H has been so tough mentally in so many key moments, and Hayden Hollick may not have had the night he's wanted to have to this point, but hey, this is just one of what the Hardhats hope are many games these next 5 days.
1-1 count. High and inside. Make it 2-1. Hayden Hollick does not crowd the plate like many of his contemporaries here. Seems to be a thing at the Legion baseball level. Everybody kind of hovering over that thing. He takes he enjoys his distance. That'll be strike 2. So Roy delivering pretty well right now. We're looking at a 2-2 count. Hardhats trying to add their cushion before they go into the final frame. That's a liner into right. Holly gets it. They're going to throw to first. Whoa! The rare 9-3 putout.
Wow, I mean,
I've seen that once.
I haven't seen that in years.
That is rare. I knew Hollick was a little slow out of the batter's box. I noticed that, and I thought maybe it could happen because that wasn't that deep into right. The only time I've ever seen that happen was in the majors with Cody Bellinger making an out in the 7th inning of at the time a no-hitter for Hyunjin Ryu. Making an incredible play to keep the no-hitter going, but eventually it did get broken. But anyways,
I think I saw a game when I was a teenager on WGN. The Chicago Cubs were at Wrigley Field. I think it might have been a Cubs San Francisco Giants game, and I just remember that it's the only time I ever saw that happen.
I've only seen it once. You've only seen it once.
Yeah, that's a very rare.
I saw it in the flesh.
Thankfully for the Hardhats, it
Doesn't matter too
change
much.
Too much. The Hardhats, who, interestingly enough, folks, have been out-hit by Elkhorn South by 7 hits, 11-4, have a solid 9-5 advantage because Elkhorn South has paid dearly for 4 errors committed tonight. And the Hardhats now assemble around Eli Kelly. They're on the pitcher's mound, and they're all racing in and touching their hard hats together, their helmets together, as is the tradition. Here we go, folks. The top of the 7th inning coming up. Post 22, 3 outs away from an opening win at the Central Plains Regional Tournament. And to tell you about it, here's the voice of Hardhats TV, Oliver Feld.
So I don't know if there's an official formal bracket. I'm sure there is at some level. I can hardly find it. I have my own. I'll be posting the post day 1 on Twitter at Post 22 Baseball. Also Post 22 Baseball on Instagram, and that'll be your. You can find them there. So go for that. You'll see my bracket. That's going to be probably the best you're going to get. It's very hard to find anything. I had so much trouble finding the Minnesota brackets. I had to go to like Google Docs and find my way in and have like people let me in and whatnot. It was pretty awful finding my way into the Minnesota state bracket the other day. So it's a 2-1 to Carter O'Neill. Kelly gives him one. Oh, foul ball. Felt that one in his spine. So 2-2 count now. O'Neill. Just realized that both of the last 2 innings ended on 9-3 putouts. It's crazy. Both sides of the 6th. Whew. Very slow curveball. Misses. So we're looking at a 3-2.
Completely different plays, but memorable plays nonetheless.
So full count. Eli Kelly, the claps are going. That's going to be off of his foot. Is that... Wait, they call it fair. No, foul. Okay, I thought. It was off of his foot. I remember a Tate Crossway play earlier this year. Tate hit it... Tate hit a foul ball off of his foot. Or no, he hit a ball that was just like a really dead ball to the middle of the zone, or the middle of the infield, and the umpire was certain it bounced off his foot. And he said, "Did you know what happened there?" Like at lunch that day, he said, "What happened? That didn't make any sense." So, payoff pitch, that's going to be skied into left. Roach underneath it, makes the grab.
Aaron Roach has just been a natural left field tonight. You just have to tip your hat to Aaron Roach.
Torby's got a whole another year with this guy. Roach, a junior, going on senior. So if he so chooses to play post 22 next year, which you would expect him to, he might be your everyday left fielder. Zeke Farley graduated. So 0-1 to Luke Hoskinson. Strike on the inside of the plate. Now an 0-2.
What can you say about Eli Kelly this season? He has just been so solid. He's been solid as a rock.
It's Carter O'Neill. That's lined over to second. Handled cleanly. That'll be out number 2.
What can you say about Aiden Roberts this season? You know, he made the jump from the Expos to the Hardhats in May, and he has never looked back.
Nope, he's been leadoff for a better part of a month now. So now Crew McDonald, last hope for this PDG Gold team. I'll call them by their official name. Pennington Dental Group Storm Gold. So, by your government name. Alright, so 1 out. Strike. Delivered in the zone, so now we're looking at a 1-1. Eli just a few more pitches away from the end of a night. Pretty good relief outing. The kind of thing Eli does so well. Long relief is his calling. He will be forced into the starting pitcher role, though, by graduation of Hayden Leidy and Palmer Jacobs from the program soon. He did show he could do it. He did 7 complete game. He had a complete game win against Missoula earlier this year. That's over to Roberts. He uses his body to stop it, and that'll be it. The Hardhats are 1-0 here at the Central Plains Regional, and they are able to beat PDG Gold after falling down 4-0 in the first inning. They only allowed 1 run since, put up 9 of their own, and that'll be it. So the Hardhats will advance to play Fargo Post 2 tomorrow. The PDG Gold will wake up and play at 12 a.m. or 12 p.m., not 12 a.m., 12 p.m. tomorrow against the Eden Prairie Eagles of Eden Prairie, Minnesota, and hope you all are there.
What a great win for the Hardhats, and now things look this way. Not only are the Hardhats into the second round with a 1-0 record in this double elimination tournament, but post 22, you know, whatever happened last week doesn't matter anymore. I mean, you're here. You are trying to get to the World Series, and the Hardhats took a very big step. And it was really defense that was the difference in between these two teams tonight. The Hardhats were able to go 7 innings without committing an error, 21 outs, no errors for the Hardhats. And for Elkhorn Post, Elkhorn South, they commit 4 errors, and that wipes out and negates what was a very solid performance at the plate, where they had 11 hits off of an outstanding Hardhats duo of Hayden Leidy and Eli Kelly. Congrats to the Hardhats. Big forward step. Very happy group of fans making their way to the exits here at Fitzgerald Stadium tonight.
All right, so thank you all for sticking in with us. If you guys watch the rest of the games, I hope you enjoyed them. We have 4 more on tap for you tomorrow, 2 of them elimination games early in the morning. We will lead ourselves off with 9:30 a.m. Mountain, 10:30 Central. Williston, Post 37 Keybirds from Williston, North Dakota, will face off against the South Dakota State champion, the Harrisburg Post 45 Gold. So be there. And for everybody here at Hardhats TV, thank you all. For me and my partner, Mike Fell, I've been Oliver Fell. Thanks for watching. I'll see you.